I'm offended. It's like, okay, conversation over.
Bible senses Freemasons. Is it flat or is it something like something else? If we're going to get here this flag, and we're going to throw it down there, and we're going to give it away. There it is. Like that. It's flat. It's not a decent question,
shit.
is it?
All this shit here.
No.
Not conspiracy theories, they're real.
You're still asleep.
And all power and glory goes to Christ.
Genesis, so shrouded in mystery. So last night I got to about chapter 42 and it started talking about corn. And I can clearly see that corn's significant in some way in the Bible, in Genesis. But I had no idea. I just found myself last night just going, huh? I had no idea. So I put it away and I thought I'll try again today. So I'm gonna finish off Genesis today and hopefully get more out of it. But it sort of leads me to something I said in a video there the other day, what I used to teach my team when I was a team leader back in the day, back in the Telstra days. I used to teach them, don't worry about what you don't know today. Celebrate what you didn't know yesterday that you do know today, and reflect on that and think about what you're going to know tomorrow out of today. So that's sort of what I'm doing with the Bible. And it leads me to a few things I wanted to talk about today, how I feel like my life's sort of coming together, the past, the present and the future. So back in my days in the wilderness before I woke up, 2 years ago, just getting on 2.5 years ago now, I started to wake up with the moon landing. Back in those days, I was always really good with money, like really good. I've always been good with money. I bought my first car before I got my L's when I was 15, and I bought that basically off all the Christmas money that mum and nan gave me over the years, and plus I started my first job when I was about 15, pushing trolleys at Franklin's up at Wyong Plaza. And with that money, I basically bought my first car in cash. I've never had a loan. I've always had money behind me, and I've never owed anyone a cent ever, so I've always been really good with money, and that's sort of how I was created. And now I fast forward to today, and I find myself in a situation where I'm not working and I can't seem to get a job. I come with credentials. I've led groups of people in two different positions, but back in my sanitarium days and my Telstra days. I've led groups of people. I've done some good things. I offer a lot employers, but no one wants to know. I would apply for probably 20 jobs a week, and I'd be lucky to get one reply, and that reply is always a no. I reckon I've applied for 100 jobs and had 2 interviews, and it's like, you could say, yeah, it's because you're 45, but you just think, I've still got 20 years of work left in me. Well, that's the theory, and I can't get a job. And you think, well, okay, what's really going on here? Because I'm at a point now where I've been saved and I'm walking with Christ, that I know that he's been molding me. I spent those years in the wilderness. He created me like this. He created me with all my beliefs. I led a very sinful life. I've repented many sins, and I continue to repent. And that's something that really scares me about God, is that I just hope I've repented everything, because how do you know all the sins you've done? So I just try to do it as a sort of just a blanket type thing, I've forgive me for all my sins, and try not to sin now, and just realize that you don't want to live in sin anymore because you've got this new life. But it's sort of, so what's happening to me sort of now is I'm finding that, all these questions I've got, being answered, a lot of them, and they're also throwing up more questions. So a verse, the reason why I bring up money is a verse in the Bible that really hit me. He really hit me in Genesis. I can't think of it. But hopefully right now I'm superimposing this up. It was in Genesis, and God was talking to Abram. He wasn't Abraham yet, he was still Abram. And he said, leave your family and leave that land and go to this other land. And I just think, like, you get what I'm putting down here. You get my drift. It's like, Okay, so I don't owe anyone a cent. I've never had a problem with the law. If I just leave now, nobody apart from my family and close friends, nobody would even know I'm gone. So you just think, you know. So I'm just sort of I'm just at a bit of a sort of conundrum with that. So I'm just going to take a few days, as long as it takes, keep praying and just hope it comes to me. It's sort of another thing that's happening is as I'm seeking. So God's been there the whole time. Like, he's molded me. He's led me here. He's created this personality, and I'm getting a lot of fellowship out of my subscribers. So thank you. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. If you feel like I'm off track, or you feel like I'm on track, or you feel like I've got something else to consider, it's brilliant. I'm loving it. And Forza said something to me there. Last night when I woke up. He just said, look, if you follow the path of Christ and God, the world will reject it, the world will hate you. And I went, oh, that's my life. So I gave up Facebook like 18 months ago. And the reason I gave up Facebook, get this is why I gave up. I was on the computer one day, and I can write fairly well, and I put up this post one day, and I was quite proud of it, you know, the literary sort of ability I've got. I put it up and I was quite proud, and I thought, you know, and it didn't get any attention. It got no likes, nothing. And I'm thinking, why? And then some other guy put up on Facebook, he said, oh, I've got a big conundrum here tonight. I've got to consider whether I'm going to have KFC or McDonald's. And it got over 100 likes, and it went off. And this thread just appeared on my feed for days and days on end, just people just in raptures about it. I'm like, what's going on here? This is all a bit weird. I've always felt like an outsider. I've always felt like society's rejected me. I've never been popular, a lot to give. I've got a heart of gold. I just want to do the right thing, but I don't fall for shit. I don't fall for people's shit. I never have, you know. And anyway, I looked back and reflected on that, and I thought, well, Brett, why do you care? Why do you care he gets 100 likes and you don't, you know? And I just thought, I know who runs it. I know that it's run by the Bagels, and at that time I'd been awake for a year, and I thought, you know what? No more. So I quit it. But my point is, I've always felt like an outsider and like I've been rejected by society, and now I've found Christ, and I go, oh, wakey, you know, the great reveal. It just continues. It just continues. And another thing's happened, like a big thing happened for me the other day about the covenants and Abraham and the 12 tribes and all that stuff swirling. Now, I mentioned on previous videos that I've got a friend up in Brisbane, and he's the one who led me to the well. And I just respect this man so much. There's not too many people in the world I truly respect and admire and trust fully 100% with my life. I would this guy. I don't know whether he watches my videos or not. He probably does, and if he does, he'll never tell me, because he never gets credited for anything. You just RGDS it up, won't you, mate? But anyway, it turns out that I asked this guy a lot of questions about my spiritual journey, and he provides me with answers, but he also invites me to go away and have a think, have a research, have a read. And he's always said, Brett, read the Bible. He's always said that to me. But anyway, I asked him the other day about something or other, and it led to the covenants. It led to the various covenants in the Bible, and what I can figure, there's like 5 of them, I think. Haven't really got to it yet, but it turns out he introduced me. So this is the guy who basically led me to the well, right? So he opened my eyes with the moon landing, and then I just walked with this guy, and he basically, it was Christ, of course, but he was the physical person who did all this to me and for me, and he's still there. But when I was still in Brisbane, my last days in Brisbane, I met his mother. He introduced me to his mother, and it turns out his mother's just this big Bible researching and just knows a lot. Like, I was going to say authority. I don't know if that's the right word, but she knows a lot about the Bible. Anyway, it turns out the covenants are her specialty. Go figure. So she sent me a whole heap of literature there last night, and now I'm going to plough through all the readings and all the research and all the writing she's done about the covenants. I mean, brilliant. So this is how it's manifesting for me, guys, and I just look back and I think and I go, You know what? Like, I do my Christmas message every year, and every year that Christmas message just leads me closer to Christ. I don't know whether anyone's ever read one of my Christmas messages. I don't know. I'm proud of them. I'm proud of them. I think if you read them, particularly those walking with Christ, I think if you read them, you get a good kick out of them. You get a laugh, and you go, you know. I think this one I did this year. I'm really proud of it. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because it's brought me closer to Christ every time. So this year I found myself researching the Bible more, because it's a very biblical one this year. And you just think, it's all coming together. It's just, what's next? I'm not going to rush. I'm in no hurry. My current situation, I've got no need to rush. I'm not going to push things. I'm just going to keep praying and I'm going to keep reading the Bible. It's happy days, guys. How good's this? So I just wanted to remind everyone, I'm appearing on the Sun and Moon Family channel there tomorrow. It'll be at 8 o'clock on Australian Eastern Summer Time. I'll be tuning in. We'll be talking about why I'm seeing the sun in the southern sky here when I'm south of the Tropic of Capricorn. I'm thinking that I'm hearing that they see it this time of year in the far southern sky. I'm not sure, but if it's in the, I don't know. I think it might be their northern sky, their far northern sky this time of year, but I'm not sure. But what I'm hearing and what I'm thinking is that it sounds like they're south of the sun and I'm north of it. So it's all a bit strange. It's all a bit strange what's going on. So I'm looking forward to some good collaboration there tomorrow with those guys. I hope you can tune in. I'm going to ask Karen today if I can mirror the live stream, if I can mirror the hangout. I'm sure she'll be fine. She seems like a good person who's a collaborator, who knows a friendly face. So I'm really looking forward to that one. I hope you can tune in. I'm loving my walk with Christ. I'm just loving it. And all power and glory goes to He.